Friday morning, weekly weigh-in time. After a suspect Friday, which I posted a video on last weekend for some accountability. Man, did I ever have a stellar week. Energy levels have been low. I did my running. I've done 4 runs. I did my 7-mile run last Sunday, did tempo day yesterday, and then 2 30-minute just aerobic base builders. I've done 4 lifting sessions. No, I did 5. But there were 2. I did not do full legs and shoulders, and I did not do full Armageddon. I did 20-minute workouts. My energy level has been low. I've been prepping for, as I mentioned, I have some interviews on the 17th. I have 4 hours of interviews this coming Tuesday. And I have just been putting in 8, 10, 12-hour days prepping. So my energy level's been low, but I pushed through it. Diet has been phenomenal, save for Friday. So I'm expecting a good week. I will say, the last couple of weeks have been frustrating because I feel like as I'm getting better in terms of consistency in my working out, eating cleaner, like my weight loss just isn't, the results aren't there. But, I actually went and looked at, seems kind of crazy. I went and looked at my Garmin data from early 2022. So I remember the lightest I had ever been was, I was sitting in this very spot in December of 2021. And I remember I went and took 2 weeks off and I just absolutely binged, and I gained like 24 pounds in like a week and a half. And I remember I got really frustrated because it took me nearly 2 months to get close to where I was. I think the lowest I got was like 236, 237 in like February of 2022. And then it's like, I got so angry that I didn't get results that I did the opposite of what I should have did and was like, to hell with this. And it's not what I need to do. And I just need to recognize that if it takes longer, then it takes longer, but just keep focusing on making progress. Last week was very frustrating for me, like very, very frustrating. This is the second week in a row I've done, all of my lifting sessions, all of my running sessions, 3 24-hour fasts. I just started doing this 3 24-hour fast 2 weeks ago. My running's increasing. Doing 5 lifting sessions a week. I'm eating clean, and like my body, it just, I don't know. The only thing I could think of is just doing a dramatic reduction in my caloric intake. I think about it, it's like I use these calorie counters like MyFitnessPal and a few of the websites I use to tell me how many calories I should be taking in based on my weight and my projected weight loss. But how do I know that those are accurate? So the only thing I could think of is I need to cut my caloric intake. I did look at what my caloric intake was when I was in the 240s and 230s, and it was about 3,000 calories a day. But that was also 5 years ago, and I'm damn near a 50-year-old man. I'll be 50 in July, so maybe my metabolism is slowing down. I don't know, but it just seems weird that there's such a big difference in my nutrition now versus the back half of last year, and my weight staying in the same range. And I've been working out like crazy, and it's like I keep saying working out. My nutrition has been night and day since last year. That's what's so perplexing to me. Because if I wanted to have McDonald's, I would have just ate McDonald's. And if I wanted to have a bag of chips, I would have just had a bag of chips in Q4 last year. And I'm not doing any of that. So to see my body holding on to this weight when I'm eating, I've cut the processed stuff out, and to have this increase, I wasn't working out like this. I wasn't running at all for the most part. To do all of this and to not see results, it's really frustrating. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. It's really frustrating, but I'm committed to it. I'm gonna see this through. But it has been frustrating. That being said, let's see where I'm at. So I got off the scale about an hour ago. And in my Garmin app, Man, I mean, I lost 1.5 pounds. I'm not happy with that. Um, yeah, in the last 2 weeks, I've done 6 24-hour fasts, and I'm essentially down 1 pound in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. My body's really fighting me on this. My body fat actually went up 2/10 of a point from 35% to 35.2, but that's a negligible. Because how accurate is just the scan, the scale sending electrodes through my body. Directionally, it's gonna tell me a range, but I don't know that it's that accurate that it can detect 2 percentage points. But BMI 32.7. But yeah, I'm down from 292.5 last week, 1.4 pounds. 2 weeks ago I was 292.2. But that's where I am. Here is where I was last week. Yeah, I weighed myself Tuesday. Actually weighed myself Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday I went up 5 pounds from that bad day, and that's exactly why I started stepping on the scale every day. I haven't been looking at it, as I mentioned. My scale just uploads. I don't look at it, but that's the problem right there. I fasted Sunday to Monday. I was essentially flat coming out of the weekend. I did 7 miles and had one meal on Sunday. I ate very clean on Saturday. So even when I did not fast from Saturday to Sunday, but yeah, Friday, my eating Friday was a problem. I can't balloon. And that's why I used to do Conquer the Weekend. And, I think I just need to bring it back. Having accountability coming out of the weekend. I can't go crazy. There's a problem right there. I went from, and, I did a whole video documenting if this is 292, and I'm fasted. I usually will lose 3 to 4 pounds fasted, but if I weigh myself, because you can see right here, I was not fasted Sunday, and I came down 4 pounds Monday. I ate clean Saturday. That's the problem. That Friday was a problem. There's the issue right there. And I did a video on it to hold myself accountable for it. You can see the rest of the week I was stellar, and I tried to step on every day. Certain days I forgot to, but no, that's helpful. Seeing what happened on just one bad day and seeing how it can tank a week. Had I not pigged out on Friday and I instead of 292.5, say I was 295, I'm gonna go up because I can't compare being in a fasted state where I haven't had food in almost a day to being in a state where even if you eat clean, but the Friday is the issue. So yeah, I wish I had done that 2 weeks ago to see what would have happened, to see what happened, because I was really stunned last week that I went up 3/10 of a pound. But yeah, there's certain people in the fitness industry who I mean, with anything, there's differing opinions. Some people, like this one guy, Chris Jones, who does do coaching and training. He has a YouTube channel. He guy out of Texas. He said he takes clients, but he's like, if you're gonna be my client, I'm gonna be all over you. You're gonna be ready to weigh yourself every single day. And there's certain people in the fitness industry who believe in that, and some who say look at it over longer intervals because your body's going to fluctuate, and there just could be things that in the short term cause a lot of noise. You don't have total control. So I've kind of taken the stance that I weigh myself less because I don't want some irregularity. You could have waste in your system that just hasn't moved on yet that'll add a pound or two. So small fluctuations. That's why I try to make sure I'm weighing myself at the same time, under the same conditions. I'm always fasted. It's always before 8 o'clock on a Friday. I do my fasts on the same day every week so I can make week to week comparisons. Um, but I don't know. I think I'm going to bring back Conquer the Weekend. Um, and of course, I'm saying that my wife and I are going out to a Valentine's Day dinner tonight. I'm not going to eat great, but if I have one or two cheat meals and I'm clean the rest of the week, last Friday, I ate a lot of junk. Um, I got very frustrated and I did the opposite of what I should have done, and I'm not going to make that mistake this week. But um, yeah, I'm going to bring back Conquer the Weekend for some accountability. So I don't go crazy. I don't go in the weekend mode. I didn't do that 2 weeks ago, but I do remember I had a fight party for the Shakur Stevenson um, versus Teofimo Lopez fight, sold out Madison Square Garden, and I was pretty clean all weekend. But I know on Saturday, like I ate a bunch of junk during the fight. I kept going back. I had a bunch of pizza. I said it on my way in last week. I had a bunch of pizza, chips, a bunch of soda, and that could have, that probably woke up Sunday multiple pounds heavier than I was the day before. Your body is always keeping score, quietly in the background. I don't know how much I ate. I have no idea, but I know, as I said on the way in, I said I ate a lot. And I think Friday I was clean. I had hot dogs for dinner, one cheat meal. Saturday I was clean, but I really binged on Saturday night, and then I was clean for the rest of the week. But that's all I got. But I'm gonna bring back Conquer the Weekend and have some accountability. I have to come out of the weekend light. I can't build this huge deficit to come out of, and be trying to get flat to where I was on Friday by like Wednesday or Thursday, which is I see what happened this week. It wasn't until Tuesday that I was flat to Friday. I want to be flat. I used to set the goal of being flat to down on the weekends. And if I came out of the weekend flat for whatever reason, well, it's not for whatever reason. During the weekend, I'm a lot more lax. Instead of having my oatmeal, I'll have, those like vegan cheese ball or the vegan whole grain cheese balls, but little stuff like that adds up. I don't think that's the stuff that's killing me, but I think I'm just coming out of the weekend too heavy. And then I'm like getting to the middle of the week before I'm flat to where I was Friday and then trying to lose weight. I need to be flat to down coming out of the weekend. So Conquer the Weekend is back. But you know what? Let me not be so somber. I'm down 1.5 pounds from last week, inching closer and closer to the 280s. I honestly thought I would have been there by the end of January. I'm not. But it's, what difference does the timeline make as long as progress is being made? So good week. I see Friday tank the week. Conquer the Weekend is back. So on a Friday for Reed Fitness.